Well, listen, guys, the biggest story to date this year in Canadian football for me is the Vancouver Whitecaps. Dominating on all fronts, tops in MLS, and of course into the final of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. All this for a team who many so-called experts picked to be mid-table at best this season. A team suddenly on the auction block, a team whose best player has been sidelined for most of the season, and a team who said farewell to a legendary and immensely popular coach in Vanni Sartini. Not bad. To explain it all to us is Vancouver Whitecaps head coach Jesper Sørensen. Jesper, welcome to Footy Prime. First question, though, I've been saying it all week. Let's confirm. It is Jesper, not Jesper, right?
Yeah. It's Jesper. It's Jesper.
It's Jesper.
It's Jesper.
Yeah, it's soft J. In Danish, J's are often soft. It's a little bit different from the English language, yes.
You know what? We've been saying Jesper all week.
I haven't.
No, I've been saying Jesper. You've been saying Jesper.
I even looked it up in a pronunciation guide that said Jesper, so I apologize. Jesper. It's so unlike me to get pronunciation wrong. So welcome to the show, Jesper, anyway. All right, so congratulations on the season so far. It's been incredible. I think this is your first job outside of Denmark. Did you think MLS would be this easy?
No, I didn't. I don't find it easy though, but it might have been looked that way, but I didn't. I don't find it easy, and I think it's a very interesting league, and I'm very happy for being here.
Is football? No matter where you are, Denmark or
no. No, football is a reflection of the culture you are playing it in, I think. I think if you play football and you watch it and see it in Italy, it's completely different from Spain, and it's completely different from Denmark. And it's different from North America, I would say. For instance, football in Denmark, we are a country where, we are brought up in the Scandinavian model of society, where we pay a lot of taxes, and it's a lot of welfare systems, but also the hierarchies are very low and very flat, and we try to structure ourselves out of everything, and I think that everybody has to participate, in every regard. So I think it's that's the way you play football in Denmark. If you look at how you play it in South America, maybe is quite different. You have, it's more hierarchy driven. The attackers don't work much in defense and have a lot of freedoms. And also maybe in North America, it's a bit different. I will say though that in the MLS, there's so many teams playing so differently compared to some of the leagues I watch in Europe, where you can say that if you watch football from Spain, it's much the same way the players and the teams play. If you watch from Italy, there's a lot of similarities. Here I think there's a lot of, and it's very interesting, a lot of difference in between the teams. I think that's very it's really fun to be a coach here.
You've had some experience, Jesper, of playing against Mexican opposition already. Talk about culture and the difference in cultures. Playing with the national team against Mexico is always different. CONCACAF in itself is a different animal than anywhere else in the world, in my opinion. How have you managed that? And have you studied the football in Mexico before you had played against those oppositions?
No, I haven't studied it before, but when I came here, of course, with the draw we had, we started looking at, firstly Monterrey and then Pumas, and now we have to look into Cruz Azul. But what I found about the Mexican way of playing is that it's also quite different from the MLS. It's a lot stop and go. It's also very star dominant. You have some big stars that allowed a lot of freedom also when they play, and it's whereas the MLS is way more at the same pace, going at the high pace all the time. The Mexicans play more like acceleration of pace and speed in the game. And then, of course, there's big differences in between the games as well. We saw Monterrey a little bit like Miami, where you have some big players, Canizares, Ramos up, a little older players. That was some of the biggest stars. And then but they couldn't play at a high pace for the entirety of the game. And then you saw Pumas that was really strong, physically strong, very well organized, and also, maybe a little bit more like us, actually, the way they played. So it's been quite some difference we've met already.
Jesper, coming over from Denmark and this being your first job outside of the country, and you said yourself that football is a reflection of the culture. So did you see it, were you hesitant to make that leap, or did you see it as a blank slate where you could marry your Danish approach with the Canadian values and everything about our society and how it would come to life on the pitch?
I think the things you have to ask yourself as a coach is, because really it's not a free ride to be a football coach, is, do I have a opportunity to make the way I want to do things be a success here? And that's, otherwise you'll be out before you even get in, right? Mm-hmm. I had the fortune to have the experience to live 1 year in Canada before, and I knew a little bit about the culture and how things are in Canada. And I am decent in the language, so I can, communicate with the players, and I communicate with the players, so I can get my message through. And I think that was very important for me. And then, of course, when you have the opportunity to go and experience something like the MLS, whereas it's completely different with the rules you have, how to put together your roster, the way you can also affect things, hopefully over time, and create something. I think that was intriguing, and I was blessed to having the opportunity, I would say, to go here, because as I know it, I think I'm the first Danish head coach in this league, and it's not something where I could just call one of my colleagues and say, hey, what is this, and what do I have to look for? And so I think that it was, I thought that it was a good opportunity to also, for me, get the experience, but hopefully also succeed there.
You spent a year in Canada before. What were you doing? This is interesting to me.
I was a home dad. My wife, she's an oncologist. She worked in Toronto on a hospital, Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah, she had. She had some. She has a lot of research done with some of her colleagues from that hospital. So she got invited to stay there for 1 year, and I was home nursing our kids. They're big now, so it's that was the last opportunity I had to just pay them a little bit of pay a little bit back to them, because when we had our kids, I was a player, and you don't have much paternity leave when you're a player, right? So it was.
Is she working in Vancouver now?
No, she's working in Copenhagen, so she lives there. Yeah.
When was that? Jesper?
That was 18-19. It was the Toronto Raptors year.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. It's a good year to come.
We went to a lot of basketball games. My kids also like basketball. We went there. They end up winning everything. So that was a good experience also on that front. Yeah.
And TFC actually, I believe, weren't a bad team then. I think that's one of those years they were bad, I think.
Yeah, they had a bad year. They just came off. They just came off actually having a very good year the year before. I think they won, and then they had this long run into the Champions Cup. And then they had a very bad season overall in the MLS.
Yeah, right.
Jesper, how old are your kids? How many do you have? And are they into football? Did they ever play? Was that
we got personal quick, Jesper? Just so you know.
No worries. Let's get it over with.
Over with.
I have three boys, 24, 21. He turns 22 next week, and then 18. So they're big boys now. Yeah. And they're not much into football themselves now. Yeah. Emotionally, because they've been following their dad. The youngest, he plays, but the others, they don't.
I think I played with a teammate of yours, Klaus Thompson.
Yeah. Where?
At Ipswich Town.
Sorry?
At Ipswich Town.
Wow. Yeah. He's but I known Klaus since we were kids. We grew up in the same town. Yeah. He was a couple of years older than me. And he was a great guy and a good player. And I also played with him many times.
Yeah, he was a fantastic guy. Really, really good.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Craig, was that when you played with Klaus? Was that before or after Jesper played with Klaus?
That was after.
After, was it?
After. Yeah. He went to Ipswich and then Everton, I think.
That's correct. Yeah.
And then he went to Danish club in the Wolfsburg, I think.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah.
We're talking about some of the great Danish players. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, 1992, as a football fan, I remember it really fondly still, that team. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But we're debating who is the greatest Danish footballer ever. And of course, Craig said Peter Schmeichel, I think, didn't you, Craig? Of course, because you're biased.
Well, I actually said Laudrup, but
Laudrup.
Yeah, Jimmy said the
Schmeichel. I didn't want to be biased being a former goalkeeper.
No, I think mostly would say Michael Laudrup, and I would say also maybe Michael Laudrup. We have Peter Schmeichel as well. Normally, goalkeepers are a case of themselves, right? It's a separate thing normally, but Peter Schmeichel was amazing. Michael Laudrup was such a graceful player. He was so elegant, and he was also great. We also had a former player back in the day that actually won when it was only European players, the Ballon d'Or. It was Alan Simonsen, he was called. He played for Borussia Mönchengladbach and played for Barcelona and was also a great player. But I think Michael Laudrup maybe stands out as the one, but Peter Schmeichel definitely is in the conversation.
Had some people on social media saying, "What about Christian Eriksen? He's up there as well. Obviously, a wonderful footballer."
Mm-hmm. Pernilla Harder.
Yeah, that's the best. Women's football player we had. Yeah,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Great as well.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. This is really unfair. 92. Can you name the 11 in the final?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe we had Schmeichel in goal. We had, but maybe we had an injury or two. But we had Lars Olsen was a captain. Then we had Kim Christofte. We had no, he went out in the. Yeah, maybe I can because we had an injury on the left wing back. Then we have Kent Nielsen. He played. Then we had. I should be able to. Torben Picnic, I think, played from the start.
Yep.
And then we had Henrik Larsen played. We had John Jensen playing. He scored in the final. We have Kim Vilfort playing. He scored in the final. We have Flemming Poulsen playing. We had Brian Laudrup playing.
You got it.
You got it? I got it?
Yep. You're still missing the fullback.
You Googled it. Jesper, we just saw you Google it.
Yeah,
you're right. Fullback. I'll get back to this guy. Wow, that's embarrassing if I can get that.
It's not that embarrassing. It's pretty good. It's the long time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was 92.
I'll get back to it. I get there. It's
all right. I won't give it to you yet, but if it pops in your head between now and the end of the interview,
then I'll get it up. Yeah.
But while we're on impressive Danish players, there's also two Danish coaches in the Northern Super League, in Katrina Petersen for the Ottawa Rapid and Enya Heiner-Moller for Vancouver Rise. So did you lead the charge there with the influx of the Danish coaches into Canada?
I don't know.
Open now.
Yeah,
it's quite funny that Anya is here, right? Because I worked with her also in the Danish Federation when I was under 21 coach for the Danish national team. So I work closely together with her, and she's great. And I'm happy for her and for our Rise team that they have her as a coach.
Have you enjoyed Vancouver?
Yeah,
as a city?
Yeah. I have. It's a great city. It's so beautiful. Having to compare with Toronto, it was a nice city as well, but it's way more busy. It's way more noisy. It's way bigger. Here it's so easy getting out of the town, getting out to this beautiful nature here, and I like that. And I like just ride my bike outside of town, and then all of a sudden you are in beautiful mountainside with the coastline. It's great.
A Jesper bicycle, is it like a really streamlined mountain bike, like one of these fancy bikes, or is it like you have a bell and a basket and you have other things on it? What does the Jesper bike look like?
It's in between. I have a very, very nice, I invested in a very nice city bike here. I like it a lot because I take my bike out here to the training sessions. So it's great.
I think I always thought when you brought up the bike, I was thinking Jesper is going to say, no, I like to put a top hat on and have one of those giant big wheels with the little wheel in the back.
Penny
like
farthing.
this.
It's called a penny farthing.
A penny farthing. That's what it is. Yeah.
No, it's too hilly here.
You should really get a Vespa and change the V to a J and just call it a Jesper.
Yes.
That's what you should do.
Wow. I haven't thought of that.
This is what she does. Jesper.
This is what my brain does. I apologize.
No.
Are you getting recognized yet when you're cycling around Vancouver, or are you still kind of on the down low?
Not much when I'm cycling. I'm way too fast.
Let me ask about this team though of yours. You knew what you were getting into. I'm sure you did your research, obviously your due diligence. Are you surprised just what a great season it's been so far on all fronts?
Yeah, of course I'm surprised. It's way beyond what I have expected. Also, you can hope for something, but not like this, I would say. So it's been way beyond what I've expected and hoped for, and I am surprised. Of course, I am. It's not that I don't see the players every day work their butt off and do everything that we try to make them do, and it's not that I don't see quality. But of course, having a season like this is not something that happens every day. So I think that it's a surprise for me.
Have you had to keep the players' feet on the ground, or you try to, because this is something that is difficult to maintain this level of play, but not impossible. But obviously you don't want that to get carried away.
I think there's two things. One, it's very difficult to maintain this level of result production. That's one thing. The other thing is the level of play. I hope that we can maintain and even, exceed what we are doing now. But it doesn't mean that we'll get better results, because probably we won't. We will also lose games where we have the feeling that we were the better team that day, but we just lost because of the randomness there is in football results when you're looking at just one game. But overall, I think that it's I don't want to try to get them, get their feet down on the ground. I think it's nice if they can fly a little bit due to confidence. We know that what has made us a good team, our work ethic, and the way we have paid attention to details, and players have been fully invested in what we have been doing, and that's what we have to continue with if we want to grow into becoming a very good team. And I think the players know, because they get reminded every day. So I think that they know, but if they fly a little bit, and then it's okay for me, because I think it's one of those moments you don't have that often, where you actually can allow yourself also the freedom that you feel good, that you also have some confidence, and that you also maybe fly a little bit. We are not going with our arms up over our heads in everyday work. We are working, and people are still very focused. So I think that's a good thing. And then the competition level in this group is good, and so it's also up to me to make sure that becomes an advantage for us.
I was going to ask you. Sorry, Sharms.
Amy.
I was going to ask.
I think that's the same question. I think it's the same question.
You go.
Amy.
You go.
Okay.
No, you go.
I'm pretty sure it's the same. So you rotated really well. You mentioned competition for places. When Ryan Gaul gets healthy, 100% healthy, does he walk into the 11?
Yeah, but what you said when he gets healthy, and then you said when he gets 100% healthy, right? That will take some time because he's been out for a long while, and when he gets back healthy, we might have other issues with people getting injured. So, yeah, normally he will play for us. He's our captain. He has been the best player over the last couple of seasons. So normally he will go into the lineup. It will not be something that the other players should just hand over to him, but because the competition has to be there. But of course, we'll be looking forward to having him back on the team as well.
So my question lines up nicely, I think, as a follow-up to that. Just talking about Ryan Gauld, but you must have come in, done your research. You knew what you were walking into, because I think in your opening day press conference, you said it's not going to be a revolution. It's going to be an evolution of where the team was. But were you even surprised with the injuries to Ryan Gauld, with the injuries to Sam Adekubi, to Nelson? You probably knew the talent that you had there. You've already alluded to the competition at each post, but did those players really surprise you in the way that you could rotate, a few weeks ago, 8 players in your side and you still get the victory? Like, is that something that you knew was well established, or they proved it to you when you had to do it?
A little bit of both, I would say. First of all, the players have to prove that they have to get that they earn themselves the spot on the pitch, and then I think for me it's very important that we don't get too individual dependent, because you can have an injury, you can have a suspension, you can have things, and things will occur during the course of the season where you have to play without players that you normally think, wow, if we have to play without those guys, it will be difficult for us. Last week, if you had told me last week, 3 months ago, that we will play a game at home against Real Salt Lake, where Ali Ahmed, Brian White, Ryan Gauld, Remco, Sebastian, Sabi, Sam, Matthias wouldn't be in the starting lineup, I would probably say it's not good. But but now they were not in the starting lineup, and I could also maybe name a few others. So, and it's also what you make of it. The most important thing for me is to give players the confidence when they play, is to give them a realistic task on the pitch. So if we play Tate Johnson instead of Sam, we have given him a different role than Sam had. Sam, he was often brought in as a winger, attacking the last line. With his physicality, he could run up and down the pitch when he was at his best. Tate was not the same. We had to cover him a little bit. So we hold him back in the build-up. He's a very good passer, and don't want him to end up in very bad situations defensively that we believe that he will struggle handling. So I think that's very important that then he has built himself into the team, so now he can do more and more. I think that's very important. You give that the player also has the feeling that he's not playing alone in there. So when Giuseppe Bovalina plays in Minnesota, and also Jeevan Badwell, they haven't started before, then you also have strong players around them that can surround them, and you have a strong structure where they know that they can lean upon some things we do in the team. So they don't have to play their own game. They just have to play within the structure of the team together with their teammates, and then they can be helped out, and then next time they can do more and more.
Have you found that the travel to be intensive? I mean, obviously in Europe and Denmark, you're not flying from game to game. In England, we very rarely flew. It was better just to take a coach up to Newcastle or whatever. Have you found it a little bit difficult, or certainly different from what you're used to in Europe?
You're underestimating. I found it very much different than what I'm used to. But we also been to Costa Rica, Mexico twice. Yeah.
You said the taxes were the same, so what's high taxes, right? So you're used to that.
No, I would say this is very much different, the way we travel like this, and how far it is. I think that's also one thing for me. It's so interesting. Every time I go somewhere, it's my first time there. St. Louis was completely different from Minneapolis, was completely different from Miami, and it's so much fun right now. Of course, these times we talk a lot about US and stuff, but people just have to realize how much different there is also within one country. So I think it's very interesting to also get that knowledge and also get the experiences. So, but it's very different with the traveling, and it's hard. And it's hard. It's hard also with the time difference. I can feel it on my body. I'm also above 50, so I'm a little older now, but I can definitely feel it. So when we have a trip to St. Louis where it's 2-hour difference, I think it's hard. You wake up early in the morning and you're a little bit tired. You don't sleep that well, and I think it's something that you have to consider also when you think about the players, how they have to perform.
Yes, but there's a tradition here on Footy Prime for first timers. It's a rapid fire segment which Dan Wong, just below you there, will spit a bunch of questions to you, rapid fire. We apologize in advance for what they are. Wow, that's painful. I'm not sure what the questions are, but Dan does, and that in itself is very concerning. But Wonger, take it away.
All right, Jesper Sørensen, you're gonna play Get to Know Me on Footy Prime. So first question, you're at home and watching Netflix. What type of movie are you watching? A documentary, a thriller, a romantic comedy, or a drama?
Documentary.
It's vacation time and you are exploring Canada. What's your ideal holiday? Lakeside cottage, maritime beach, Rocky Mountains, or stay home city adventure?
Rocky Mountains.
I like that. You have a role. This is my favorite question. You have a role on it. You have a role on a TV show, and for that role, you need to add 30 pounds. What's your go-to junk food?
Oof. Just in general?
Yeah, like 30 pounds you have to put on for this role.
Ooh.
What are you eating?
Chocolate.
There? Chocolate.
I'll eat a lot of chocolate, I think.
I was hoping you were going to say a Danish.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a tough one, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, Denmark does not qualify for the World Cup. Who do you cheer for?
Canada.
Yes, Jesper.
What if Canada doesn't make it? I'm going to put you more on the spot.
They host it.
There you go.
He's not doing it. He's not giving it to us. You were a player, a coach, but the big question is, what sport would you have played professionally if it weren't for soccer?
Badminton.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
And here's our music question. You're on a desert island and you get to choose one decade of music. What decade do you choose? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or the 2000s, the aughts?
80s.
Yeah, nice. Thank God. And final bonus question. There's a little diagonal line in your O in Sørensen. What is that called? And you've just played Get to Know Me on Footy Prime, Jesper Sørensen.
We know all about you now. Yes,
I know.
You know enough now, huh?
Yeah.
We want more.
Yeah,
Thanks,
You'll have
Jesper.
to come back.
Really appreciate you coming on.
Next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continued success, yes, but it's been, I think, it's just such a great story, not just for Vancouver, but for Canadian soccer in general. Even those fans in certain other cities in this country are, I think, deep down pretty happy to see you guys do so well in CONCACAF. So good luck, and we hope to chat to you at some point later this season.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Jesper. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.